So, there's been a lot of confusion flying around social media about this headline that says, Finnish court frees Simon Ekpa and awards him $50,000 compensation. My people, that information is not true. It's one of those stories that started spreading online without any solid confirmation, and it's been making rounds like wildfire on X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, and WhatsApp groups. But let's break it down carefully, because a lot of people are still wondering what exactly is going on with Simon Ekpa and what's the real truth from Finland. First, for those who don't really know who Simon Ekpa is, he's a Finland-based Nigerian activist and lawyer who has been very vocal about issues related to Biafra and the southeast region of Nigeria. Over the past few years, he's made headlines for his strong comments, especially those linked to the sit-at-home orders in the southeast. Because of this, his name is always popping up in both Nigerian and international news spaces. Now recently, news started flying around that a Finnish court had released Simon Ekpa and even gave him a whopping $50,000 as compensation. But here's the truth. No Finnish court announced that. In fact, according to multiple credible sources in Finland, there is no such ruling or compensation. What happened is that misinformation spread after some blogs picked up old or unverified content and twisted it to sound fresh. So, before you believe or share such posts, make sure you verify the source, because fake news is flying everywhere these days. Finland is a country that takes its legal matters seriously. Any official statement or court judgment is always available in public record or credible news outlets, and nothing of that sort has come up about Simon Ekpa's supposed freedom and $50,000 award. Remember to like this video and subscribe, because this kind of real gist, verified and clear, is what we bring to you every day. Don't just scroll past, hit that like button right now if you're enjoying the breakdown. Now, here's another angle people are not talking about. This whole situation also shows how misinformation can quickly shape public opinion. A lot of people on social media already started celebrating or reacting emotionally before even confirming the facts. That's why, as Nigerians, we need to be more careful about what we read and share, especially when it involves sensitive issues like Biafra, political movements, or international court cases. Also, this is not the first time Simon Ekpa's name has trended online for controversial reasons. Earlier this year, he was questioned by Finnish authorities over his activities and the impact of his broadcasts on Nigeria's southeast. Some reports even suggested that the Finnish government had started keeping a close watch on his activities. But nothing about him being arrested, detained, long-term, or compensated has been confirmed officially. So, what's actually going on is that Simon Ekpa is still in Finland, continuing his political commentary online. He has not been jailed, and there's been no official compensation or court judgment favoring him. Now, let's talk a bit about how stories like this gain traction. Many of these fake news reports are designed to attract attention, get clicks, and spark emotions. Once they spread, people start adding their own versions, screenshots, or voice notes, and before you know it, the whole internet is buzzing. That's exactly what happened here. But here's the big question. Why do so many Nigerians easily believe unverified news? It's because most people trust what they see first on social media without cross-checking it. And to be fair, sometimes the way these headlines are written makes them sound so real. That's why, again, I'll say it, always verify from credible news platforms or official government pages before spreading anything. If you're still watching, please remember to subscribe to the channel and click that like button. It really helps us keep giving you more accurate updates like this one. Now, let's add another perspective. This story also connects to the bigger conversation about misinformation and its power to influence people's thinking. When false stories spread, they don't just confuse people, they can actually cause real damage. For instance, imagine how people in the southeast might react to hearing that Simon Ekpa was freed and rewarded. That could create unnecessary excitement, tension, or misunderstanding among followers who think something major has happened politically. And let's not forget, Finland is one of the most transparent legal systems in the world. If something like a $50,000 award actually happened, every major European and Nigerian news outlet would have carried it by now: BBC, Reuters, Channels TV, Punch, or Vanguard. But none of them have published such a thing, which tells you it's fake. So please, my people, before you share anything online, pause and ask, where did this come from? Is this verified? Don't just go by screenshots or short clips that can easily be edited. Now, to round up this part of the gist, Simon Ekpa is still in Finland, continuing his normal activities, and there's no $50,000 compensation or court release involved. It's all misinformation that grew legs online. If you're watching me right now, please hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, asterisk, so you won't miss any of my updates. Because on this channel, we bring you the facts straight, clear, and without bias. And since we're already on this topic, let's briefly touch on the role of social media in shaping Nigeria's public opinion today. It's actually very powerful, but also very dangerous when used wrongly. Some influencers just drop one post, and before you know it, it becomes news. That's why content creators, journalists, and even viewers like you have to stay alert. Now, let's look at it carefully. If Finland truly had such a court case, it would have been a public case, and every detail would have been available for journalists to report on. Finnish laws are very open about that. So, if any judgment had been given, we would have seen documents, media reports, or statements from the court or Finnish authorities. But what do we have instead? Nothing. Just social media posts and screenshots that cannot be verified. Please, if you haven't yet, like this video and subscribe to this channel, because we always break stories down clearly so that you don't get misled by social media noise. Now, let's talk a little about Simon Ekpa himself. Whether you agree with his views or not, one thing is sure, he's a very controversial figure. He's been known for making strong comments about Nigeria and Biafra, often on social media and in interviews. But recently, the Finnish government has been paying attention to how his statements could affect peace and security, especially with the kind of influence he has over some groups in the southeast. There were reports earlier that Finnish authorities questioned him about the link between his statements and unrest in Nigeria, especially during the sit-at-home periods that caused major disruptions in the region. But after that questioning, there was no report that he was detained long-term or charged with any crime. So, this story about freedom and $50,000 compensation doesn't even make sense, because you can't be awarded compensation if you were never officially imprisoned or tried in the first place. Let's be honest, this kind of fake news is dangerous because it can mislead a lot of people and even worsen the tensions that already exist back home. Some people genuinely believe these stories, and that's why it's important for us to verify everything before we react. If you're still watching, please show your support, hit that like button right now, subscribe to the channel, and let's keep spreading verified information. Now, I want to connect this to something bigger, the issue of how Nigerian media and blogs operate. Some blogs just want traffic. They want your attention, your click, your share. So they cook up dramatic headlines that sound real but are false. Sometimes they even mix small truth with a big lie to make it believable. That's what happened here. They used Simon Ekpa's real name and Finland's legal system to make it sound authentic. But in reality, there was no trial, no judgment, no compensation. Finnish authorities have not made any public statement about such a case. And I know some people might be wondering, but why do they target people like Simon Ekpa for fake news? The answer is simple. Because his name sells stories. Whenever something about him hits the internet, people click immediately. Whether it's good or bad, people want to know what's happening. And when your name trends easily, some bloggers will use it to make money. That's why we must keep reminding everyone, always get your news from credible sources. Now, let's not lie, the whole issue around Simon Ekpa and the Biafra movement is a very sensitive one. There are people who genuinely believe in his cause, and others who think he's doing more harm than good. But whatever your opinion is, we must all agree on one thing: truth matters. We can't build progress on lies or false information. So, while people are busy spreading fake updates about him, the real conversation we should be having is about how to stop misinformation in our country, how to create awareness so that our people, especially those in rural areas or who depend solely on WhatsApp messages for news, can understand the importance of verifying what they read. Remember to like this video and subscribe if you haven't. It takes just 1 second, but it helps a lot. Now let's touch on something related, the relationship between Nigerians in the diaspora and what's happening at home. Many Nigerians abroad, like Simon Ekpa, use their platforms to speak about issues back home. But the challenge is, sometimes their messages get misinterpreted or exaggerated by people online. So, by the time the story reaches the public, it has changed completely from what was originally said. This shows how information can easily get twisted, especially on platforms like Facebook and X, where anyone can post anything without fact-checking. And one more thing, the Finnish government doesn't play with the issue of misinformation. If any media outlet in Finland publishes a fake story, they face serious consequences. That's why no credible Finnish newspaper or TV station has published anything about this $50,000 compensation story. If such a thing truly happened, even Simon Ekpa himself would have come out to post it officially, right? He would have shared documents, court papers, or at least a statement from his lawyers. But nothing like that has happened. That alone tells you that the whole story was cooked up. So let's all be careful. As Nigerians, we should stop helping fake news to grow. Anytime you see a shocking headline, just pause and ask yourself, is this real? Where's the proof? That one small question can save thousands of people from believing a lie.